A Switchblade 600 drone cuts through the night sky, aiming for a railway signal box in Novocherkassk, Russia. A massive explosion rips apart the signal box, crippling the railway, stopping a 2,000-ton ammunition train. A swarm of 20 FPV drones dives onto a logistics bridge, their C4 charges ready for detonation. Explosions tear through the bridge pillars, collapsing the 600-foot structure into the river below in the chaos. At 2:47 a.m., October 12, 25 Atesh partisans are concealed 300 feet from a critical Russian railway line. Russian officers sleep soundly, oblivious to the imminent attack on their vital southern supply route. Atesh operatives, assisted by insiders, had mapped 12 miles of track, identifying the train's exact schedule. The NEBO-M radar's 3.6 degrees upward tilt generates a ground-level dead zone, perfect for small drone infiltration. Atesh spreads rumors of an FSB mole in Rostov command, cultivating paranoia among Russian officers. Russian night patrols subsequently dropped by 50%, leaving the railway vulnerable to the partisans' calculated assault. This railway line fuels 60% of artillery shells and rockets to the Zaporizhia and Kherson front lines. Disrupting the rail line will paralyze Russia's southern war machine, starving its artillery units. Russia's Pantsir S-1 defense, with 360 degrees radar, is built to shred drones at 2.5 miles. The Lyre 3 electronic warfare system blankets a 150-mile radius with GPS jamming, designed to neutralize drone navigation. Attacking the railway risks triggering every Russian defense system within a 12-mile radius instantly. At 2:51 a.m., the Russian supply train moves into the predetermined kill zone, completely unaware. The Atesh operator avoids hitting the armored locomotive, focusing on immobilizing the 2,000-ton train instead. The Switchblade 600 drone acquires a lock on the concrete signal box, its 34 pounds charge ready to strike. Molten metal from the drone's shaped charge destroys the signal box's delicate control systems. The train's instrument panel flashes red, compelling the engineer to slam on the brakes immediately. Metal screeches as the massive train grinds to a halt, now a stationary target. Atesh partisans, hidden in the darkness, ready claymore mines concealed under gravel along the tracks. A radio pulse activates the claymore mines, unleashing 700 steel balls per mine at 4,000 feet per second. Steel rails twist and break, rendering the railway impassable, trapping the ammunition train. The explosions send a thermal signature, alerting the NEBO-M radar 12 miles away with flashing alarms. A Pantsir S-1 air defense battery activates, its phased array radar scanning the sky for targets. 3 Bayraktar TB-2 drones, flying at high altitude, appear as decoys, drawing the Pantsir's missile fire. Russian 30N-6E missiles destroy the TB-2 drones, and the operators believe the threat is neutralized completely. A modified Orlan 10 drone, flying autonomously, approaches from a different vector, undetected. The Orlan 10 navigates using inertial systems and optical terrain matching, immune to Lyre 3 jamming. The Orlan 10 broadcasts an X-band signature mimicking a Ukrainian missile drone's targeting radar. The Pantsir S-1 locks onto the spoofed signal, firing its missiles at a Russian ammunition depot. The missiles shred the depot's thin roofs, igniting 15,000 pounds of artillery shells in a chain reaction. A massive fireball erupts, lighting the night sky, turning darkness into day for a moment. A Mi-28 Havoc helicopter lifts off, armed with Vickers missiles, hunting the partisan team. The Havoc's thermal imaging locks onto the partisans' heat signatures 5 miles away, preparing to fire. The Atesh leader deploys a homemade 5-watt, 3 GHz jammer, flooding the Vickers missile's radar seeker with noise. The Vickers missile veers off course, exploding harmlessly in an empty field nearby. Russia's Peresvet laser system activates, attempting to burn out drone sensors with high-powered beams. A second Ukrainian team launches 20 FPV drones, each carrying a 2-pound C4 charge. The FPV drones, guided via fiber optic links, fly below the treetops, immune to the laser interference. The drone swarm targets the logistics bridge, accelerating to 60 miles per hour in formation. Explosions ripple across the bridge's pillars, C4 charges shattering concrete and exposing the steel rebar. The bridge groans, steel beams tear apart, and the central span collapses into the river. The Havoc pilot, now out of missiles, retreats as the bridge lies in ruins below. The Atesh team uses the depot explosion's chaos to slip away along pre-planned exfiltration routes. The bridge attack's precision came from sequential C4 blasts that targeted weakened concrete pillars. Initial drone strikes chipped away concrete, exposing rebar for subsequent charges to destroy. The C4 detonations generate 30,000 psi shock waves, creating microfractures in the structure. Rapid-fire explosions act like a jackhammer, pulverizing the pillar's integrity from within. The bridge's 600-foot span, now unsupported, collapses under its own weight into the river. The attack destroys a $20 million bridge, 500 feet of railway, and an ammunition depot. Russian emergency services scramble, racing toward the depot fire and the collapsed bridge. FSB and Spetsnaz units swarm the area, prioritizing a media blackout over any rescue efforts. Satellite imagery confirms a 30-foot chasm where the bridge once stood. The railway tracks are gone. This strike halts 60% of ammunition flow to the Zaporizhia and Kherson fronts instantly. The stranded train and 3 others are backed up, unable to deliver critical artillery shells. Russian artillery falls silent. The guns are useless without shells, stranded 300 miles away. The FSB mole rumors spark intense paranoia, fracturing Russian command with distrust and chaos. Russian commanders, suspecting betrayal, refuse to coordinate, paralyzing operations for 72 hours. Ukraine exploits the silence, advancing 3.5 miles along the Zaporizhia front line. Moscow calls the attack a temporary disruption. Ukraine calls it a routine operation. With cheap drones and ingenuity, Ukraine turns Russia's billion-dollar logistics into rubble. Modern warfare rewards creativity, not just expensive weapons, as Ukraine proves decisively. The Atesh strike shows how intelligence and precision can paralyze a superior enemy force. The operation's success ripples outward, starving Russia's southern fronts of critical supplies. Ukraine's advance exposes Russia's vulnerabilities, exploited through meticulous planning and execution. The night's chaos leaves Russia scrambling, unable to counter Ukraine's strategic ingenuity. The Atesh partisans vanish, leaving behind a paralyzed Russian war machine in total disarray. The mission proves small teams with drones can shift the tide of modern warfare. Ukraine's victory lies in outsmarting, not outgunning, Russia's massive military infrastructure. The operation's precision and audacity redefine guerrilla warfare in the 21st century. Russia's southern command, fractured by paranoia, struggles to recover from the blow. The collapsed bridge and destroyed depot mark a turning point in the conflict. Ukraine's strategy hinges on exploiting Russia's over-reliance on centralized logistics systems. The attack's aftermath leaves Russian troops demoralized, facing critical shortages on the front. Satellite images reveal the extent of destruction, a testament to Ukraine's tactical brilliance. The railway's destruction halts Russia's ability to sustain prolonged artillery barrages. Ukraine's advance gains momentum, capitalizing on Russia's logistical collapse. The operation's success inspires future missions, targeting Russia's vulnerable supply lines. Russia's war machine falters under drone assault, inside the strike that changed the battlefield. This is the inside story of how a multi-phase Ukrainian operation crippled Russia's southern front. It wasn't just a drone strike. It was a tactical masterpiece of sabotage, electronic warfare, and psychological operations that paralyzed a 2,000-ton ammo train and destroyed a $20 million bridge. This deep-dive analysis breaks down the entire covert operation. Phase 1. The Trap. How partisans and a single Switchblade drone halted the 2,000-ton supply train. Phase 2. The Decoy. Using TB-2 drones to bait Russia's formidable Pantsir S-1 air defense. Phase 3. The Deception. The brilliant use of a spoofed drone to trick the Panzer system into destroying its own ammunition depot. Phase 4. The Kill. A 20-drone FPV swarm systematically demolishes a 600-foot strategic bridge, cutting 60% of artillery supplies to the front. This is the story of how